the Chennai Super Kings on Friday night. Faf du Plessis, man of the match in the final with a superb knock of 86, was not mentioned in the treat, and neither was Imran Tahir. And du Plessis, meanwhile, was the only South African player at CSK who did play in the final, and he also finished the tournament in the second highest run scorer. Following the online uproar, CSA posted a new tweet. And Ricky Fowler, aiming to put a season of struggle behind him, fired a 9-under par 63 on Saturday to grab a 2-stroke lead over Rory McIlroy in the CJ Cup in Las Vegas. Fowler notched his best round in 3 years, firing 9 birdies without a bogey at the Summit Club, which is hosting the tournament usually held in South Korea because of the coronavirus pandemic. Fowler won the most recent of his 5 US PGA Tour titles at the 2019 Phoenix Open. And in your weather, Pretoria will be partly cloudy and hot with temperature highs of 30 degrees. And Johannesburg will be cloudy and hot, partly cloudy and hot with temperature highs of 27 degrees. Nelspruit will be cloudy and cool with temperature highs of 18 degrees. And Durban will be cloudy and cool with temperature highs of 17 degrees with extensive thunder showers. East London, cloudy, partly cloudy and warm with temperature highs of 21 degrees. Port Elizabeth, cloudy and cool with temperature highs of 15 degrees. Cape Town, cloudy and cool with temperature highs of 17 degrees. Upington, sunny and hot with temperature highs of 23 degrees. Bloemfontein, partly cloudy and cool with temperature highs of 20 degrees. Mafikeng, partly cloudy and hot with temperature highs of 28 degrees. For Vuga Online Radio News, I am Monges Makhalima.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
It's Vuga Online, your inspiration radio station.
Thanks for coming. The family really appreciate it.
Oh, Stephen, I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thanks, Hilda. You were always there for us.
People say time is a good healer, but when my Avi passed, I sold some of his possessions, and it really helped speed up the healing process. Like your grandfather's house in Camps Bay.
I beg your pardon?
I'd be happy to help you heal, of course.
Oi, now isn't a good time.
I know, what a time to be talking property. A buyer's market, please.
Excuse me, I must go and see my Boba.
Yes, of course. She needs you now more than ever.
Yes.
Oh, all alone in that big 4-bedroomed house with off-street parking and a borehole, was it?
Some people just can't stop themselves. That's why the new Volkswagen Golf 7 comes with brake assist. Volkswagen, we make the future real.
If you suspect your dog of having a foul mouth, try Super Breath Dog Bones from Fido. Available at all reputable pet stores and supermarkets nationwide.
Strap yourself in, because we're set up, switched on, and ready to go.
Vuga Online.
Welcome to this exciting episode of PK Unshackled. Yes, it's me, your favorite PK, undisputed world champions of all PKs. If you have a problem with that, step up. No, I'm joking. Anyway, the name is Makau Katide, and I'm spending my time with Ulebu Ntlabat. Now, quick story. Ulebu Ntlabat went to Bible school together. You know, we were indoctrinated, and I say that deliberately, indoctrinated with certain things in the church, and we grew up, and we have families now. We are both still alive. She's doing very well in business. She's a social entrepreneur. She does a lot for the community. And and she's just a super person. And now she's into farming. I can't even take care of blompot. You know the blompot with a flower? I can't do that. And you are into farming. Anyway, Auslebu, how are you, ma'am?
I'm great, and you? How are you, Makawe? It's good to be here. I'm happy that after so many years now we can even connect here. So, thank you for inviting me. I'm doing well. I'm great. And how are you?
Yeah, no, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good. You know, one of the things that has been a positive with this COVID thing is I get to do this now. I get to do this for a living. I get to chat to people. I get to inspire people. You know, a lot of people say, I'm a cow, and you're supposed to be in the pulpit. No, I'm not supposed to be in the pulpit. This is my ministry. This is how we preach to people. This is how we change people's lives, by having truthful, meaningful, constructive conversations. So our topic for today, Auslib, is women in business. So we'll discuss a few things. I'll ask you certain questions, and because one of the things that is not a concern, but I've always wanted to ask somebody who's successful in business, because from a black point of view, right, or an African point of view, if you're doing successful in business, then then we're leading again. You understand?
Yeah.
So we'll discuss all of those things, but let's take a quick break. Grab yourself some water, because we'll be talking a lot. I'm gonna have a drink as well, and then after the break, we just shoot. We just talk and talk and talk and talk. So see you after the break.
See you there.
Look for Starbucks coffee in a grocery store near you, then sit back and enjoy the exceptional taste of Starbucks at home.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
It's Vuga Online, your inspiration radio station.
Welcome back. Hope you had your vitamins, you had your drink, you had your everything, breakfast, everything. It's a Sunday morning. So anyway, we're chatting to Mama. You know, I always say Ausi, and I realize I'm disrespecting other people's wives. So, Mama, Ulebu Ntabat. Mewak.
Yes.
So tell us, who is Lebu Ntabat?
Well, it's a very difficult question to answer. I don't want to normally answer it in a simple manner. For example, I'm multifaceted. At home, I'm a mother, I'm a wife. At work, I'm a problem solver, because I have different aspects that I deal with, you know. So I cannot necessarily say that I am a business person, or I'm an educator, or I'm professional. I'm actually multifaceted. So Lebu Matlala or Ntabati, Matlala is my maiden name. Lebu Ntabati is a mother, a wife, a sister, a friend, and more importantly, a problem solver. You know, a problem solver includes being an entrepreneur, a hobbypreneur, infopreneur, a professional, and a businesswoman. So that's me. You know, I'm a go-getter. I'm a hustler, lover of things. And I'm a born-again child of God. Yeah, so I'm deep-rooted in the Christian faith. Yeah, that's who I am.
Okay, so now on this show, we ask easy questions, but we also ask difficult questions. And one of the questions that I have for you is, so you're a successful businesswoman, and you're doing all right. So there's always this thing, Yoguti. Traditionally, the man is supposed to be the spearhead of everything, you know. Christianity says that. They peddle it, it's there. They even use the Bible to say a man must. I hate that phrase, a man must. So does it not cause any tension for you to be, with all due respect to your husband, but does it not cause a problem to know that, you are this successful?
I think it depends. When you meet a person, for example, at home or wherever, you just need to know where your standpoint. I know we live in a society where there's patriarchy, and I know that as a woman, we've been placed as a homemaker, as a person who have to be at home, kitchen and whatever, and not necessarily looked upon into someone who can be an entrepreneur or someone who can run a company. Unfortunately, we're living in that situation, in that society. But thank God, nowadays, people are starting to understand and to see the value of women. And as a woman, you needed to take a stand. For example, when we started, it was not easy because obviously, because of the patriarchy that the society has, unfortunately, they were looking, they had to second guess you. You have to be 2 times or 3 times or 10 times more and better than your male counterparts. So it took some time, and it's still not yet there. It's still taking some time for us as women to break through into so many things. But I think as for me, my assertiveness, my go-getting attitude is the one thing that made me to be who I am. And I think me being outspoken, a lot of people who would come into my space, they come knowing exactly what kind of a person I am. So when I met my partner, he automatically knew exactly what type of a person I am. And it was easy for me to navigate being a wife and being a business person at the same time. And also when I go out there, it's still difficult because some people would just say, oh, no, she doesn't have it. She doesn't have that thing until you prove it to them. But unfortunately, it's something that as women that we still have to strive and do. And I'm hoping that in the near future, we'll be able to break that mindset, that mentality that, women are a lesser being as compared to men. Because after all, we have to take it biblically. We're actually the helpers. Men were created, but they could not do everything. They needed us to come and help them. So even biblically, we are actually the anchor of men. And it's just that men did not realize that, because had it not been us, maybe God would just say, I created Adam and left him there. But he needed to create us so that we can be the anchor of...
Yeah, no. I understand that. And I understand it very well. But is that not 99% of the problem? The understanding that because if you say, and I understand this scripture very well, so Eve came out of Adam. So automatically in the mindset of every man is that this is not a standalone species. This is me in a fraction. You understand? Now I say that because we can jump all we want. Patriarchy is still prevalent in society, and especially at churches, right? At churches, the majority of pastors are still male. The majority of evangelists are still male. The majority of people in the church board are still male. You understand? So it's a male-dominated world. And my worry is that the strides that are made by people like you might be in vain. You understand? Might be in vain. Now, the question is, what is Lebu Matlala in terms of what you say to people, how you interact with people? What is Lebu Matlala doing to plant the seed, pun intended, for the next generation? For example, I don't want my daughter to feel inadequate because of a man at any given point. You understand? Obviously, I can't be involved in the matters of the heart, but my daughter must be a greater version of me. You understand? Now, in terms of what you are doing in your personal life, in your interaction with young ladies, what are you doing to make sure that you pass the baton to the right people with the right mindset? I'm going on and on now. Another thing, a lot of women and this is the truth, a lot of women still want a husband to go work, get money, give them money, they buy groceries and raise the kids. Is that enough?
It's not enough. We are not only designed for that. We are a whole being. We are the same, with breathing the same oxygen. And for me, to young women, for me, is to tell them that you are enough. It's to tell them that you can do it. It's to tell them that you are as strong as the male counterpart. It's to tell them that they matter. It's to tell them that their vision matters. It's to tell them that their dreams matter. It's to tell them that they should go after what they want. Nothing should stop them. Nothing should make them feel less of a person as they are, as who they are. We're actually greater beings than anyone. Besides, without men, without us women, men won't be here. Without us, there won't be any procreation. So actually, men need us more than we need them. Because had it not been us, yes, had it not been us, there won't be any creation. And men can meet up, but there won't be procreation. And men and women can meet up and there will be creation. So we
Not
are.
yet. Not yet.
Look, with the advancement of science, trust me, if that was possible, that could have been created a long time ago. I mean, even now they're trying to create it.
But, sorry to interject, but it's an ethical issue more than medical advancement.
Well, we'll see. It's still an ethical issue because they're still testing it, but they will still need me to give an egg. You understand? You know? So, but in any case, but for me, when I go to women, I just tell them just to focus on their dream, to believe in themselves, to be assertive, to be authoritative of who they are, you know, and to follow their dreams. And no one should ever tell them that they are not good enough, because actually they are good enough and they matter more than anything else. And I do encourage.
Sorry to interject. The thing is, you know, would you say the majority of women, whether in business, whether in society, whether in churches, do you believe enough women believe that they are enough?
No, they don't. Unfortunately, because of the patriarchy that we find ourselves in. Because we still have men who feel like women are only there for their own purpose and their own good. You know, to just satisfy them, just to serve them, and that's all. And they forgot that after all, we are here to serve God. You know, not men per se. Yes, maybe we are designed to come and help them, but the ultimate person that we are here to serve is the Creator. So we are here to be a supplement to them and help them. So the issue is that a lot of men, they still put women down in churches, in business, in social, whatever, and it's gonna probably continue for some time. But it's up to us as women to stand firm, you know, and fight for our rightful position, because our rightful position to a certain extent. Okay,
very interesting. Let's take a quick break, and after the break, we get into women in business. I feel that, I mean, the number of women in South Africa not far, but outweighs the number of men, you know. And if we're talking the reignition of the economy, if we're talking the development of infrastructure, if we're if we're talking about food security, you know, we cannot anymore put that responsibility solely on men. So we talk more business after the break.
Scamander! Tim, our numbers are dropping. Apart from our cash cow in the spiritual department in Midupe, people's budgets are just too tight for our usual scams. Imano, 419s are reaping nickels and dimes. Chris, crypto trading and forex schools are failing. We need something digital, something vibey, something that will capture the hearts and the wallets of South Africans everywhere, ne?
Fellow South Africans, we can't afford to be taken for another ride. But you can afford the new Nando's Prager and chips for just 49 Rand. No scams, just Jim.
Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
It's Vuga Online, your inspiration radio station.
Welcome back, and thanks for tuning in to PK Unshackled on Vuga Online Radio. I am your host, Makawa Katide, and I'm spending time with Ulebu Ntlabat, Umama Ulebu Ntlabat. Mama Ntlabat.
Yeah,
so now, you are into farming out of all, so professionally, you are an optometrist, right?
Yeah, I am an optometrist. Yes, I'm an optometrist, yeah.
So, Dilanga
Definitely.
And you've done that for how long?
Well, I've been qualified in 2001. So I've been in it for 19 years now.
Yeah. So that's long, eh?
Yeah, I guess I qualified to be an expert now, eh? More than 15 years?
So now, what made you move from being an optometrist, where you sit in an office with your white overalls and your pretty little nails and, you checking people's eyes, and then you go and decide you are going to play with dirt and make food and plant food? What happened?
Like I said, I'm a problem solver, and as a problem solver, you identify a need, and once you see a need, then you come and try and solve it. I mean, there are a lot of people now, we're having a food crisis as it is. It may not be so visible now, but if you can check, now 2 weeks ago, we had a freezing winter in a way. So a lot of farmers could not produce a lot of stuff. Their crops died and all that. So you see now that interferes with food security. So for me, during lockdown, like we said, it's a blessing. We realized the need that actually there's a lot here. We have to make sure that we secure the food security. And that's where I came as a problem solver and said, how can I be part of that food security system? Then I thought, okay, let me be a farmer so that actually I can try to make sure that we have, on our future generation, will have food security over time, So for me, I looked at the gap and I fell in love in it and I just went for it. And besides, I love gardening and I love seeing things that grows from a seed and upwards, and also the influence that I had from my father who loved gardening and all that. So also that played a role. So for me, it was easy. It was just a natural progression of me making sure that I'm able to plant something, let it grow, and produce a product that I can solve a problem.
Okay, now it's very interesting what you're saying, because I've done a lot of things in my life, and one of the things I did was we spend a lot of time with farmers. So I was teaching farmers on how to produce the product and how to take it on to market, and we open markets for them. This was 9 years ago. Now the problem back then was that a lot of, especially young black women, there's funding, by the way, there's funding for these things. You'd speak to them and say, ladies, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Don't go and compete with ZZ2. You can't compete with ZZ2. But if you do chilies, green chilies or red chilies, there's a market for it in the EU. And what I realized is that, especially in the traditional areas, so your peri-urban and rural areas, is that patriarchy reared its head again. So, ladies will be given land, and I would give them a contract to plant chilies for me, and I'd pay them a certain portion. And then the husband would say, you understand? And that for me was disappointing. And the older you grow, the more you realize that we cannot, as a society, still have this thing in terms of food security, which is very important, in terms of infrastructure development, in terms of revitalizing or reigniting the economy. We cannot have this discussion as men only. We can't. You understand? And what annoys me is this thing, it's pretty when women are there doing their nails and posting on Instagram, but when it comes to the serious stuff, I hate being political. It's the same thing as saying, we're only good for having contracts to build RDPs, but when the country spends 50 billion in buying arms from the US, white people get involved. You see, that annoys me, you understand? Why can we not have listen, let me say this to you. You're an optometrist, right? You're a farmer, right?
Yes.
You're probably clever than me.
Probably.
No, let me qualify it. Let me qualify that statement. You're probably clever than me because you went to university. I dropped out like 45 times. I don't know how many courses I've started in my life. I dropped out, but you had the patience and the intelligence and the understanding that you know what, one day this will work for me. I had no patience. Now, by virtue of doing that, there's certain discussions I should not be having. But what annoys me is that because I'm a man, I'm having them, and you are not. How do we change that level?
It's the same thing as changing the mindset of our society, and I think educating them and advocating for inclusion of human in economy is the most important thing, and I mean, if you can give a rent to a woman, it goes further than when you give it to a man. So we need to start to change the mindset of our men in the society so that they can understand the bigger role as women that we play as women, So we need to make sure that I'm capable as a woman. I can get the same skills as you are, and I can actually even do better than you. So we need to be able to coexist in this business environment, learn from each other, uplift each other, and together we can achieve better. It's not about whether women will be better than men. Remember, we only now starting now, women were the ones who are the laborers and not the ones who are running the business part of it. So from now on, women are starting to rise, to start to run that. So we need to be given an opportunity and a space and to do that. And by the way, even if they don't give us that opportunity and space, we're going to fight for it. For Tina, we are saying again, we are just going to hustle and fight for it. We are not going to wait for someone at the gate to say come in or not. If you are not going to let us in, we're going to push that gate. So it's just about time. If we can only educate to a certain extent, we can only talk to a certain extent, but if nothing happens, we are going to act. We're going to execute. We're going to come in. We're going to enter the space and we're going to dominate that space. So it's about time that men start to embrace us, because if you are not at the table with us, you're going to be the menu.
You sound so militant. You sound like, somebody from a political party saying, yeah, we are going. Let's mobilize fighters. Come on, let's. No, but I hear you, and I hear you, and
it's just passion.
Yeah, I hear you, and that's what I love. I do, as you can see, I do things with passion. I say things with passion because I realize that there's too much of us in society that are like this. You understand? We neither here nor there.
Either hot or cold. You can't just be hot.
Yeah. And you need to get to a point. For example, women in business, right? I mean, I have a lot of friends, and you find that And patriarchy, people, you don't understand how dangerous the whole patriarchy thing. So I have a friend, a very dear friend of mine. So this friend was doing well, you understand? In doing well, they got headhunted by a certain premier here in South Africa to be a proxy for them, and then they'd give them all the business that they would want, right? If this friend of mine sleeps with this gentleman, let's discuss that after the break. How is it that women are still using sex? Not all of them, but women are still using sex to climb up the corporate ladder to open business doors. Yeah, let's discuss out of the break. We need to go to a break.
The home of inspiration every day.
Most people give up on themselves easily. You know the human spirit is powerful.
From news,
countries across the globe have been hit by the COVID-19 virus.
Views.
There's a global trend to see an increase in GBV incidences, specifically domestic violence.
Sports.
What's he say? It's a really good ball. It's Shabalala.
And music to inspire you every day. This is Vuga Online, your inspiration radio station.
Where we play your music your way all day, every day.
This is Vuga Online, your inspiration radio station.
Thank you for joining us. Welcome back. Makao Katide here, and I'm spending my morning with Umama Ulebu Untlabat. Melebuye, I know this is stereotyping or profiling of some sort, but before the break, I told a story of a friend of mine who, was headhunted. They look. I'm sure they. Yeah, I know they headhunted her. And they said, "Listen, in Soweto, we are building." This is an example, by the way. In Soweto, we are building a new school, right? And next to the school, there'll be 4,000 RTP houses. Next to it, there'll be a Smolanyana shopping center. That contract is yours. All you need to do is have sex with this guy who happens to be the premier of this province, not necessarily Gauteng. I mean, this is an example. And this friend of mine was struggling, financially. Not struggling, but she was, she was doing all right, and this opportunity would have brought her an income of over $1 million, her personally, over $1 million a month. Now, she said no. She said, if I start with this now, where will it end? Right?
It will never end. It will never stop.
And I applaud her. I applaud her for doing that. But then the back of my mind, I was like, if it was me, Mamela, I would even book the hotel myself. I would have even, liposuction, listen. Utwa, the metallic gold. The truth is, a lot of women, especially young women, are still doing that. Now, does that not feed into empowering the patriarchal system? No.
Unfortunately, it does, and there are still probably some women who are still doing that.
I'm from a Vuso at 600 rand.
They're probably suppressing a lot of emotions that go behind that follows after that process, and then you then have logical issues afterwards, because the moment when you're forced to do something that is not within you, you know, it's like you're being abused or something. The moment that you start doing something that is not within you, it has long-term consequences. You might just be doing it for that 1M or 2M or whatever, but you will suffer the consequences. You might not necessarily see those consequences, but in the dark, in your own space, you will suffer that second consequences. And what's the point of enjoying them? I mean, having the money and not enjoying it because you are suffering the consequences and the emotional trauma that you experience because of what you went through. So a lot of those who are doing it, they are actually suppressing a lot of stuff that they have, but in the long run, unfortunately, it has a serious impact in them because it's going to affect their emotional well-being. Let's not even talk about their spiritual being or whatever, but just emotional well-being. Eventually, it will come to haunt you. Remember, what happens in the dark always comes at some point. So it may not necessarily come immediately. When that million runs out, you would actually suffer those consequences to a certain extent.
Okay, now let me ask you this. So you mentioned spiritually. So, and I was dying to ask you this question. So in Runabatawabat, if you are very successful, if you are successful, they're like, yeah, no, ukena krege wani hela ingi. So yeah, ukwanza mama, fine. And then you become very successful, you know, and people start saying, yeah, maybe there's somebody's head buried under their house, whatnot. So they start associating, the more successful you are, they start associating you with witchcraft, sorcery, and whatnot. Now, how do with all the successes that you have, how do you keep level-headed as a Christian? How do you, because you must remember, a lot of people who are successful take the glory onto themselves, so they forget that there's somebody called God or Jesus or whoever. Not only Christians, but even people who follow African spirituality and religion would forget about Bilkange and Madimu Wabon, and they just say, I've worked hard, I have it is me, my brilliance, my idea, my innovation, my, and forget that in as much as you are lucky at this moment, your luck can run out drastically. How do you center your spirituality in all of this?
Obviously, being rooted, I think you need to know who you are with God. I'm rooted in who I am with God, and I don't owe anyone any explanation of my connection with God. It's a personal connection with God.
No, you owe it to us. You owe it to us. You must tell us. You must remember. Okay, let me tell you. This show, right?
Yeah.
It's called PK Unshackled. So I have a lot of issues with the descriptive and narrative stuff that we've been taught in the church, and one of them is if you're successful, or God won't bless you. Nonsense.
Yeah. Look.
Okay, carry on.
Okay. When it comes to my spirituality is because I'm rooted to God. I know who I am to God. I'm a born-again child of God. I've got a personal connection with God. And other people's success could be based on something else and whatever. For me, I am free to even share how I accomplished my whatever that I've accomplished at this stage, because I know how I went through, what did I do? What steps did I take? How did I get funding? What obstacles did I face? Markets, networking, and all that. So the main issue is that we know It depends where your doctrine is, where your spirituality lies. Now my spirituality, I believe in God, and I've got faith that whatever that I start, if it's in God's will, it will come to pass. Because after all, business was started in the Bible from the beginning. At the end of the day, even God is the greatest marketer of all. Jesus is the greatest salesperson. He sold us salvation, he sold us peace, he sold us healing, he sold us a lot of stuff. God marketed his word through word of mouth. So a lot of stuff started in the Bible. Even in the Bible, there's so many verses that talks about wealth, that talks about business. In Ecclesiastes chapter 11, verse 2, the Bible tells us that we need to create at least 7 to 8 income streams, so that if the land becomes dry, we've got other stuff. We had a pandemic last year. Those who managed to survive and navigate in their business life had 7 or 8 multiple streams. But if you're only focusing only on one stream, and that one stream it's affected, they close your restaurant, and that's it. So biblically, because I'm rooted in that, I also follow those principles that if the Bible said that I should create 7 or more, why should I only stick to optometry? Why should I only stick to being a farmer? I can do multiple stuff,
But are you saying that because you are successful?
I'm not only saying that because I'm successful. Remember, success was not an overnight stuff.
Yeah.
We grew up together. I grew up with nothing. I grew up with lack. But I knew that that's not my destiny. My destiny, I had passion, I had a hobby, I have a vision, and I've got a plan. And I know that I can accomplish that. And I know how to sell. I've got a product that I can sell, identified a gap, and I can sell a product. So I sold that product, I marketed that product. I'm not saying that because of what I have. Remember, you have to start somewhere. Little step. I celebrate small milestone. You start somewhere. You start with your rent today. Tomorrow it's 5 rent. Tomorrow it's 10 rent. No one was, unless if it was an inheritance. If it was an inheritance, yes, maybe we can start from somewhere. A lot of us started from nothing. When I started my business, even the bank could not give me a collateral because they evaluated my home, Kotembisa, but no, you're from Kotembisa. You don't even qualify 500,000 loan because your house is valueless. We cannot use your home as a collateral. As a woman, I had to try and make sure that I save up something, look and apply where I can get some form of collateral so that I can use it. So you have to start somewhere. You cannot necessarily start up there. So you start small, you build layer by layer, and with whatever that you have built, you start something else. With whatever that you build, you create another source of income. You start investing, you start saving, you start doing whatever. You use your hobby. If I'm good in cooking, I'm good in decorating. Why not be a caterer? Why not decorate, solve people's problems?
No.
Yeah. So hence I'm just saying that. People maybe are using stuff. I'm not disputing that people are using stuff. Now I'm not using anything, obviously, because I grew in the my I would say my anchor is the Bible. I would say my foundation is in the Bible, and that's where I base everything from there. I believe in Jesus. I don't believe in anything else. Yes, I do give, but I'm not going to give beyond my limits.
Okay, let's take a quick break. Let's take a quick right there. So you're not gonna give beyond your limits, and that is a very good principle. Because I know pastors. I'm talking to you, pastors who are listening or watching. I know that you have a habit of abusing the high earners in your churches for your own personal gain. Stop. Let's take a quick break. We chat more after the break.
If you're enjoying this interruption and find the sound of my voice captivating, you may be experiencing extreme boredom. Try new, fast-acting Subaru Impreza in hatch or sedan, formulated with symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. Cure boredom fast with new Impreza.
Hi, This is Boris from the Jazz Cats, and you are listening to VUCA Online Radio.
Simply the VUCA Online.
Welcome back, Manene na Manenegasi, Baba no Mama, Michael Katide here, and I'm spending my time with Ulebu Ntlabat, Mama Ulebu Ntlabat. So, Melebu, what words of wisdom would you like to say to women in business, women who have been battered in business, and young girls who want to get into business? What would you like to say to inspire them, to say that it's doable? I mean, I know your story, I know you from beginning like this, we grew up together. So I've seen your story. It's been, positives all the way around. But people out there don't know your story. What would you like to say to them in terms of just saying, sister, it's okay. We got you. To do your thing. We got you.
I think the main focus is that they should know that it's not about money. It's more about their freedom. For me, money gives me the freedom. For me, money is a tool to buy my freedom. For me, money, it's a way of escaping the debt trap that we find ourselves in. And it's a tool that we use to chase our purpose. So as a young girl, as a young woman, I think I would say identify what is your purpose. Identify your vision. And make sure that your vision is clear, your purpose is clear. Have a plan on how to execute that vision or purpose. And you should understand that plan and follow it. And make sure that you go for it and chase your dreams. What I know that as an individual, you can only grow to a certain extent. I mean, a shark, I normally use this, that a shark can only grow up to its environment. If you keep a shark in a tank at home, it will grow to a level of that tank. It won't outgrow its environment. But if you put that same shark and you put it in an ocean, that shark will grow even bigger and bigger to its potential. So as a young person or as a woman, you need to identify your potential and you need to diversify. You need to move outside the environment that crumbles you or I would say oppresses you to achieve what you want to achieve. You need to be assertive in what you want to do. You need to focus and run for your dreams. A lot of people who are not achieving their dreams is mainly because it's not because they are lazy in most instances. They don't achieve their dreams simply because their goals don't inspire them enough. So you need to have goals that inspire you enough. And obviously no one will even force you to get up and follow what you want to do. You need to do a lot of things. I mean, we're not like you, Marco, you're very good in talking. What inspires you is talking, isn't it? So you follow your dream, If you're good in cooking, it's your hobby, it inspires you. It makes you happy if after you've cooked. Make sure that you follow that and inspire it and make something out of it. So you can create a lot of things, You can look, education gives us a skill, I understand. But it doesn't mean that if you're not educated, you won't achieve. Education is just structure stuff and give you a skill. But if you have a hobby, if you know how to sew, if you know how to decorate, if you know how to make up people and whatever, it's a hobby. It makes you happy. Follow it. Get the correct information on how to make it a business. Follow it, multiply it, package it very well, sell it, market it at the right price. Because what's the point of selling if it's not the correct price? Because if you're not making money, then you're not in business. So make sure that freedom. And you don't have freedom. The ultimate goal is freedom. It gives you freedom. It will give you freedom. It will take you to a holiday, a vacation. You don't have to be at work 9 to 9 or 9 to 7 or 9 to 4. because of the freedom that the money will give you. So use money as a tool to access freedom, and once you've got that freedom, you can achieve anything, and then you'll be able to make and grow your money. You can invest in stock exchange, you can buy, go ArcelorMittal now. They were very, last year during lockdown, now there's Aspen who are bringing us vaccines and whatever. Invest there and make your money grow while you're sleeping. You don't have to go and physically go and work for your money. Find channels that will grow money, invest in it, and make money. And if really, stick to the principle. Go seek 7 or 8 multiple stream of income, so that if one stream of income does not make money, you've got the other 4 that are sustaining you. And it's possible. I hear you. As you are, as little that you have, sell acha or avocado or whatever way you are, it's possible. But just be disciplined. Don't get your profit and go buy Mr. Price. Yes, I will say you look very nice, Markawe, with that Mr. Price shirt. But hey, yes, I would say you are blessed. You look very nice. But I don't want people to say I'm blessed with something that I'm owing. Rather say I'm blessed with something that I've paid for because I've worked very hard. I don't want to go and get a credit card loan so that I can buy a car so that Markawe can think that I've arrived. No, it's not about the positional that I've arrived.
I don't. Those things don't matter to me.
Remember, people judge your success because of your positions that you have. You need to have so much debt so that we can say you are successful. So it's not how we measure success. It's not how we measure success.
How I measure my success is putting food on the table for my kids, making sure my kids are clothed, having a roof over my head, and taking them to a restaurant when I want to. But I've redefined my life. At some point I was Mr. Businessman doing so many things. And then I realized that first and foremost, my calling is I'm somebody's husband. Secondly, I'm somebody's father. And that's how I live my life now. I spend all the time with my kids and my wife. And thankfully, like you were saying, you use, this is my hobby, by the way. You use your hobby to open other doors. So think outside of the box. But Mentlabat, thank you very much for joining us. It's always inspiring when somebody speaks so highly and so passionately about their lives, about their ideals. Like I said, I'm tired of people who are, hey, so how's business? No, we are just meandering. Then I don't like it.
Yeah, even if business does not do well, we learn from our failures. You take those losses and learn from them. And next time when you start another business, you have already learned. You're not starting from scratch. You've got experience of if I do A, B, C, D, it may not work. So you are starting from experience now because you have learned from your losses, So when you understand the losses, you end up valuing your wins, So failure is a stepping stone. So people are scared to start something because they would fail.
No, but more importantly, a lot of women are scared of starting something. So that we need to highlight. Yeah, so girl, Mugel, go and start something, Mugel.
Step outside your comfort zone. Go to a zone wherein it will give you potential to grow. Don't be comfortable in a comfortable position. Get out. Go out there and achieve your goals. Achieve your dreams. Achieve your passion. Follow,
All right, Mwak, thank you for joining us. It's always, I'm sure we'll invite you again. I love people who speak passion. I'm not saying people on the show, all the guests we invite speak passionately. So you fit our likability profile. So we like you. We like you already. And we're sure the listeners and the viewers will like you as well. To everybody out there at home, thank you for joining us. Hopefully you learned something. Like I always say, we speak or speak out. And this is one of those, speak and speak out moments where we say, guys, especially our women out there, we love you, and we apologize. I'd like to apologize on behalf of all men for treating you like rubbish, especially from the church background, who were taught to Guti women are lesser human beings. I'd like to apologize on behalf of all men. We love you, respect you, do your thing. We support you, and I can't wait for a female president.
For Vuga Online
Adios.
News.
Signing out.
Vuga Online. Welcome to Vuga Online Radio News at this hour. The Public Protector, Busiswe Mkhwebana, said the City of Tshwane Metropolitan Municipality has acknowledged its challenges and has put a number of remedial measures in place. Mkhwebana on Friday shared findings of the probe into allegations of administrative deficiencies in Tshwane. The investigation into municipal billing issues was initiated in February 2020 following complaints from the public. Between 2018 and 2021, the Public Protector received at least 70 complaints, mostly related to exorbitant bills for water and electricity consumption. The probe has found it's partly true that the city billed consumers irregularly for water and electricity based on estimated consumption. With the pandemic grimly persisting, American homes could face a mega holiday season, forced to do without some of their favorite items missing from the store shelves. Even as demand surges as the world's largest economy reopens, U.S. retailers are working hard to avoid